absolutely. And if you think about the other major sports, and in particular the NFL, they've had women officiating games for a decade plus now. And in terms of the NBA, when I was doing the NBA back in the 90s, there were women officiating the NBA games. So good for Jen Powell. She's a pioneer, and she's raring to go tonight. She'll call balls and strikes, and it'll be McCade Brown on the hill for the Rockies. Let's take a look at the batting order tonight, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For Clayton McCullough, Jacob Marcy, who's been all the rage in South Florida, he'll lead things off tonight. Augustine Ramirez will bat second as the DH. He caught yesterday. Liam Hicks will catch tonight. Otto Lopez, Graham Pauley did not play last night. This is a young man they like quite a bit. Connor Norby, Heriberto Hernandez will be in left field batting seventh. Troy Johnston will be in right field batting eighth. And Javier Sanoa, who had a good ball game offensively last night, will be batting ninth. He'll be at second base. This is the fifth start for McCade Brown. I thought he made nice progress in his last outing. He is, and I still want to see more of his slider starting at right-handed batters, because I think the movement of his sweeping slider is excellent. You go back to his outing against the Padres, this is what I'm talking about. Start that slider at the right-hand hitters and allow it to work itself back. A little bit of crossfire action. I love the low arm slot. There's velocity behind it. You know, his minor league numbers were stellar. Strikeout to walk ratio, fantastic. He was truly a strike thrower. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. Sinker, 55%. The slider, the curveball, excellent pitches, but he has to be in the strike zone with them.
Drew, if you recall, when he talked with us on the broadcast the day after his start, he talked about trying to guide the ball, and he needed to just let it rip a little bit more. I think that was a big key for him in San Diego.
I mean, each time out is a learning situation, and that first pitch at the bottom of the zone, strike one. So we're underway. 40-minute rain delay officially. Last night we had about an hour and one. That sweeper just missed, so it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Drew, you mentioned Jen was behind the plate for one other Rockies game. Well, McCade was on the mound that day. That was his debut.
How about that? That fastball's fouled off, so it's 1-2. It's really interesting with McCade. We've seen him in Sully on the road trip when he faced San Diego. He had impeccable command in the first inning. I mean, it was like a 9-pitch inning, if I recollect. And then the next inning, it was almost as if a different guy was on the mound from a command standpoint.
Yeah, and that's kind of what he was talking about. He said, when I get behind, you know, much like every other young guy, I try and make the perfect pitch, guide the baseball to where I want it, instead of just trusting the stuff and throwing it.
Here's another 1-2. That one slipped out of his hand, so it's 2-2 on Marcy. He made his debut on August the 1st, and a month later he was recognized as the National League Rookie of the Month.
Good-looking player.
This is popped up left side. Long run for Farmer, and unfortunately couldn't get there.
And the only way he could have made that play is sliding, diving. He was so far over. He's basically near shortstop. See Kyle smiling with Tovar. You know, Tovar probably ribbing him. Get over there. That's about a 100-foot sprint.
Yeah, because he's basically in the shortstop spot defensively with the alignment.
Hey. That's all right.
One way of describing that pitch. 3-2.
You can just say just a bit inside.
Tried the corner, it missed.
So Marcy is kind of typical. Spilly spoke about this last night. This Marlins team, even though they're very youthful, a lot of guys see a lot of pitches and have a low chase percentage. This ball lined to center field. Doyle is there. And it took a while, but Marcy's gone. 1 out as Augustine Ramirez comes up. The Rockies defense is presented by York Space Systems. Back along with Doyle and Tyler Freeman in the outfield. Kyle Farmer's at third for Kyle Karros tonight. Tovar at short. Orlando Arcia is at second. Blaine Krim at first. And Braxton Fulford is doing the catching. That sweeper's high. Ball 1 on Ramirez. Ramirez is interesting. talked about this young kid, his struggles defensively. He hasn't had many struggles offensively. He's got 20 home runs, 29 doubles. But he performs better as a designated hitter, which he is tonight. I think, you know, all the pressure of catching, you know, has affected him at times offensively. 2 outs. That'll bring up Liam Hicks.
We're already seeing a different lineup from last night. A lot of platoon splits with this Marlins group, similar to how the Tigers go about their business.
The Marlins, similar to the Rockies, are carrying 3 catchers right now with the expanded roster. Good look at the Texas Tech product. Braxton Fulford outside with the heater at 94, 2-0. Well, Sully, you didn't get wet yet tonight. Hopefully you will not get rained upon tonight, but it's definitely fallout.
Oh, yeah. 57 is probably accurate right now. There's no wind, which is lovely, because that's kind of what gets you down here.
3-0. And that's in there, 3-1. Two outs. Here's the 3-1. And that's popped up, and Fulford will not have a play.
I was watching Kyle Farmer at third base, and he kind of waved it off. He was like, come on, I'm not going to make that one either.
That man brings a lot of wisdom to the ballpark every night, and a great sense of humor. Here's a 3-2. And that's ball 4. So a 2-out walk to Hicks. Time for our 4 keys to the game. Sully, what have you written up?
Well, I think you guys will enjoy these today. Changes to the Weathers. That is Ryan Weathers' changeup. It is a really good pitch off that high rail fastball, high velo fastball. Red sky at night, Doyle's delight. Doyle loves to crush left-handed pitching. Let's see him get after Mr. Weathers tonight. And Brown from the east, fish bite the least. For Mr. Brown, we need to see that slider curveball combination, get some swings and misses. He racked up 34% K rate in minor leagues. Let's see him do it at the big league level now.
See, earlier when I saw this, I thought you were doing one-hit wonders from the 70s.
Yeah, no, those are very clever.
Well, how's that working out for me?
Being clever?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Drew, that's from Fight Club.
Another movie that I can't quote every line from.
It's a great book, too. You know how to read?
Allegedly.
Single-serving friend.
Here's the 1-1 on Lopez. Swung on a miss. 1-2. The victory by the Marlins last night, their first of the year against the Rockies. The Rockies swept Miami down in South Florida, their only sweep of the year. We discussed this a little bit yesterday. The Marlins took off from that point. They played 5 games above 500 since then. This is left center field, and Beck will get there. What a great running catch in left center field to end the first. So a great outfield play for Brent Doyle last night, and typically every night. This is a wonderful catch by Beck.
Into space, I'm taking over it.
Are you? I look forward to that. Graham Pauley's going to lead it off. 5, 6, and 7 in the second, and 2 hopper to short. Tovar, perfect throw to Blaine Krim. 1 out. That'll bring up Connor Norby. Norby last night was 1 for 4. Marlins produced 10 hits. Do you know the Marlins? Again, I'm It's so shocking, all their offensive numbers, because they have a lot of glowing offensive numbers, and we're not accustomed to that. This is on the ground to third. Farmer's got it. 2 outs. They're in the top 3 in the National League in producing 10-hit ball games.
I believe it. I mean, we're talking about small incremental changes that you can visually see the numbers bear it out last year to this year. They've had massive strides defensively. They're a much better defensive team this year than they were last year. They were bottom third this year, their league average. And then the contact rate. The contact rate is one of the best in baseball. They're top 5.
Well, they have 55 10-hit plus games this year. It's tied with the Padres. Only the Brewers and Phillies have more. That's a first pitch strike. 0-1 on Heriberto Hernandez.
They made some wholesale changes across the organization. We've seen them take batting practice different. They don't throw traditional BP anymore. They use machines, and that's organizational wide.
That's foul.
We saw it today. They had 2 pitching machines on the mound, spinning. They want to try to recreate. They want to make batting practice harder than the game.
I want to dive into this. I don't know if we'll get to it in this half inning, but I want to get your guys' take on. You've heard me say this many, many times, and you guys lived it. Is that of the major sports, it's the only one where we don't replicate typically what takes place in a ball game. You know, in basketball, you can scrimmage hard, right? Hockey, you can scrimmage hard within your own team. Football, you can run an inside run drill in practice, fully padded, take guys to the ground. There's not as much of that with safety concerns in today's game. But in baseball, for years, you're hitting 55 miles an hour at 5 o'clock, and then you got to go hit 95. And I understand you don't want to tear up somebody's confidence. The towering fly ball pretty deep left center field, but Doyle is underneath it. We'll get into that subject a little bit more as the evening transpires. 9-pitch inning for McCade Brown. No score, middle of 2. 2-0 the score. The Rockies out in front. Troy Johnston's going to lead it off 8-9-1 for the Marlins in the 3rd inning against McCade Brown. And the first pitch is a little bit high, ball 1. Good solid 2nd inning for the Rockies. Chuno on Johnston. Originally a 17th round pick out of Gonzaga.
I was reading he was a wrestler in high school.
Like wrestlers.
There's another wrestler in high school that plays for the Tigers, Colt Keith.
Caleb Durbin was a really good high school wrestler, 3rd baseman for the Brewers.
Where'd he go to school again?
Wash U.
Oh, that's right.
There you go. Thank you for teaming me up on that.
You're welcome.
There's another one, pitcher now with Toronto Blue Jays. It is Louis Varland. He's a wrestler.
You're not going to worry about toughness.
They're the first one that grabs and drops people.
Beware of cauliflower ear guy. 2-1. So I want to get back to that conversation. We've had this before, but you know, teams trying to do everything they can to replicate what it's like when you step in the box. But there's that fine line, because you don't want to get beaten up by a pitching machine at 5 o'clock and don't have confidence at 7 o'clock. Is that accurate?
I think it's accurate to a level. I mean, I don't mind getting embarrassed in batting practice if it means I'm going to rake at 7 o'clock.
Sully, what's your take?
I like BP to be individual based. I would have never, ever taken BP on the field if I didn't have to. I can't stand it, and I did not like it. It wouldn't matter if it was off a machine, a human, or anything else.
Line drive, center field. Doyle will make the catch. And why is that? I mean, I'm sure people are at home are saying, well, why didn't you like taking batting practice on the field?
I was geared up to hit off the tee. The number one drill I always did was off the tee. I like to do the high tee to work my hands inside the baseball, and then I would lower it, and I would take 10 swings and hit 10 line drives off the back of the cage. If I did that, I knew my swing was in the exact spot it needed to be for the game. If I went out and take BP, and let's say I do the same thing, right? I hit a few line drives up the middle. There's more swings in BP, and eventually I'm going to hit one that I don't like, whether it's a ground ball to second, whether it's a fly ball to left, and you start thinking about that, and you remember those swings. And for me, I just wanted to groove it and put it right where it needed to be, and that's all I needed.
So Noah on the ground to second. Marcia throws him out.
Want to hit golf balls inside Coors Field? Yeah, you do. Well, now's your chance. Upper Deck Golf comes to the ballpark October 3rd and 4th. Start and finish at the clubhouse bar with food, drinks, and music. Go to the upperdeckgolf.com to reserve your spot.
So you're at home plate, and I tell you, you have to hit one of the top 5 rows. Well, one of the rock pile. What club are you using?
4 hybrid. I've done the math on this. I want to do it incredibly bad. I want to see what club I can get, the lowest one, out of the stadium over the rock pile. However,
is the parking lot behind it?
Yeah. I don't think I can hit a 5-iron far enough. I can hit it high enough, but not at that distance. But I can get a 4 hybrid over it.
So you're saying you could hit it over the rock pile with a 4-wood?
Yeah, 4 hybrid.
4 hybrid?
Yeah. I have one more thought on the BP thing.
Yes.
So I want to pay homage to Garrett Atkins. He is watching because he already blew me and Spilly up for the comment about the double steal. But he would even comment on
I wasn't part of that, G.
He would comment on my BP. He's like, nobody wants to watch you fillet balls over shortstop. It's the truth. Nobody wants to see that BP.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about the folks that have come in early to watch the best hitters in the world.
Yeah, but your teammates don't want to watch it.
Teammates don't want to watch it.
They don't want to see that stuff either. We like to see hard line drives, balls that go over the batter's eye.
Marcy walks, second walk allowed by McCade Brown. 2 outs, Ramirez at the plate.
The best year I ever had at the plate in professional baseball, I took BP 1 time on the field.
But there's no way you could get away with that in your first, at least a couple of years. You have to establish yourself as a big leaguer before you told the hitting coach that, hey, you know what, I'm going to pass on the field BP.
I'm not trying to skip out on anything. I'm here shagging. He started to go.
Yeah.
That was a good time pick, just unfortunately bad throw. I'm shagging balls. I'm taking balls off the bat. I'm doing everything.
Yep.
I just don't want to hit on the field. It's a mindset thing. And nowadays, hitters have that choice. Now, obviously, if you're struggling, you need early BP, something like that.
Swung on a miss by Ramirez, so it's 0-1 on Augustine.
I just wanted to see ball flight. I was comfortable if I saw, my ball tailing into the right center gap as a right-hand hitter. I felt like I was staying inside the ball, and I was creating good backspin.
Runner takes off, pitch out, throw to second by Fulford's not going to get him. So a stolen base for Marcy is 11th of the year. I mean, he's filling up every category in his first 6 weeks in the big leagues.
Well, this tag from Marcy is pretty impressive because it's an in-between hop, and he's still able to get the tag down. That's a massive jump.
That's the 119th stolen base, not just for Marcy, that'd be a lot, for the club. And they're 11th in baseball are the Marlins. Breaking balls outside, 2-1. Going back real quick and making an analogy, so often you'll hear a pitcher talk about an outing and he throws 7 shutout, and he says, it's kind of wild because I couldn't throw a strike in my bullpen, or I didn't have a feel for anything in my bullpen, and then they go out in the real game and deal, right? Did you ever have that where you had really lousy BP at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, went out and break?
Of course. Or you have the best BP you've ever had, and you strike out 4 times.
When you take BP enough, that's going to happen.
3-1. Now 3-2. 4. So with 2 outs, they're now 2 on. The Marlins don't have a hit off McCade, but we've seen this where his command kind of comes and goes a little bit. That's 3 walks. And with Liam Hicks coming up, Darryl Scott's going to go out.
The frustrating part is, Rockies scored 2, then you get 2 quick outs, and then you have back-to-back walks. And for McCade Brown, you see the average pitches per inning, he's at 20.8. MLB average is 16.5.
Sully, just for kicks, because it's going against you, which is always entertaining. I take you back to the 2006 season, and your boy Garrett Atkins was 4 for 4 stealing bags.
Yeah, that means he was on base.
The back end of 4 double steals.
Yeah, well, and as he just texted, he said, I wasn't afraid to do the delayed steal as well.
Delayed steal, he was excellent at it. He looked like one of the Flintstones running because he had those short little strides.
He was so close to being a 30-30 guy that year. He had 29 homers and 4 bags.
He's also 1 home run shy of 100.
Well, he hit it. It was in game 163. They just didn't give it to him.
Hicks ground ball through the right side, a base hit. Marcy coming home, no throw in the direction of third. And it's 2-1. So all of this, to your point, with 2 outs. The walk's costly. That's the first hit tonight for the Marlins. 40th RBI for Hicks.
Well, the Marlins continue to add 264 batting average with 2 outs, runners in scoring position. This was self-induced. 2 walks and 2 outs. Nobody on. And smart hitting, too, from Hicks. You get that pitcher's visit, that mountain visit from the pitching coach. He's trying to throw a strike first pitch.
And odds are it's fastball.
Otto Lopez. He had a hit, maybe a double taken away from him in his first at bat. Ball tracked down about ankle high in left center field by Jordan Beck. Deep center, Doyle. Shy of the track will make the catch. 2 walks, a single, and ultimately a run for the Marlins. So it's 2-1 Colorado, middle of 3 at Coors Field. Back in a moment. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Fish in the 4th inning. Graham Pauley will lead things off.
He's in his mustache era.
Fly ball center field on the first pitch. And Doyle has it, 1 out. So far, there's 1 hit allowed by McCade Brown, but he's walked 3.
That mustache is fake.
That's not real.
That's not real. Groucho Marx?
Do we think that's fake?
There's only 2 professions it is okay to have that kind of mustache.
Darts?
No. You got to be a firefighter,
or work at a speakeasy,
or a Vermont police officer.
Vermont, not New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's me, myself, and Irene.
How about you be a Canadian, a Mountie in Canada?
Yeah,
I will allow that.
We'll
for
go
sure.
Super Troopers on you.
Yeah.
Those are lines we cannot use.
No, we have to avoid that one.
0-2's fouled off by Norby. Swung on a miss. With 2 quick outs from McCade. That's his first strikeout of the night.
So I like that he went to the knuckle curve. So the slider we see, it's been really hard for him to command consistently. So I think he wanted something a little bit more north to south. Stays on the plate. Some good depth to it.
Hernandez swings and misses.
I feel like we're seeing him let it rip now. He's getting good extension out on that fastball.
He's close to 7 feet with extension.
He's a big dude. He's 6'5", about 250 pounds. He should make his way down that slope a little bit, right? Though, as you pointed out, Uri Perez yesterday, 2-5 shutout. At 6'8", he's a short strider.
That enables him to get on top and spin it.
And even though he sits 98, his best pitch is the slider. To a point. Here's the 2-1. Foul back. Did he go? Nope. Check it at first with Doug Eddings.
Emphatic from Doug.
You got it right.
Yeah.
Back to back. Bark in the Park Day. They're having a little coffee clutch up on the concourse. So this is the third inning out of 4 that McCade has gotten 2 quick outs and then a hiccup. That's the 4th walk. He walked a guy in the first with 2 outs. He walked back-to-back guys in the third with 2 outs. Ended up costing him a run, and now with 2 outs, he walks Hernandez. That'll bring up Troy Johnston. 0-1. Line drive over the head of the leaping Kyle Farmer. And now once again, a little situation with 2 outs, first and second. And we'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Sanoa.
Well, just watching this swing, you see he doesn't get the full swing. He just kind of redirects the baseball. His setup, I was looking at Troy Johnston, his setup reminds me a little bit of Cody Bellinger.
Sanoa lines this ball to deep left. Beck going back. He's going to have to field it off the wall. This will tie up the game as Hernandez scores. An RBI double for Sanoa, who had a couple hits last night. And once again, the walk so costly for McCade.
Well, it's not just the walk, it's the 2-out walk. Back-to-back innings, 2-out walks have come back to bite Brown. And for Sanoa, we saw a couple, like he had a lucky rabbit's foot last night. This one's just barreled up. 105 off the bat. Jordan Beck getting chased, low liner.
And by providing those walks with 2 outs, you're playing into the strength of the Marlins. Spilly, you've hit on this with the runners in scoring position at 2 outs. You can't give them that opportunity.
Again, he's walked 4, all with 2 outs.
And the crazy part is every inning he's recorded the first 2 outs, and then it's taken some time to get the final one. He has 3 2-out walks tonight.
And even in the second, where he had a 1-2-3 inning, Adalberto Hernandez made the final out on a deep fly ball to center in the second. Tovar on top, and that just gave the Marlins the lead on the infield hit by Marcy.
Well, we know Marcy gets down the line really well, but notice where Tovar is. He's directly behind Brown up the middle. This is almost an impossible play for him. I'll tell you but Tovar made that as close as possible.
Going back to Hernandez, even in the 1-2-3 inning, he went to a 3-ball count on Hernandez. Last inning, the run came with 2 outs, and now 2 runs in here with 2 outs, and the Marlins have a 3-2 lead with Ramirez at the plate.
Yeah, arguably their best power hitter.
Looking at the minor league numbers in particular this year, 43 innings in Hartford where he was dominant. McCade Brown walked 15. Spokane, similar numbers. So the walk rate now at the big league level is much higher than what it was this year between Spokane and Hartford.
And I think that's indicative of a young guy trying to navigate big league lineups and, you know, being a little timid, trying to work the edges, trying to make perfect pitches, and finding yourself in upside down counts sometime.
3 0s in there, 3-1. Sano at third, Marcy at first, swung on and missed. 3-2. Gonna make one pitch here now. On the ground, Tovar somehow gloves it low throw. Krim comes up with it to terminate the inning, but a couple of runs with 2 outs, and the Marlins have a 3-2 lead, middle of 4.